Educators throughout the world are concerned about how they're going to assess their students in the future because of tools like ChatGPT and also other AI tools. I've been working with ePortfolios for something like 20 years, and I believe that ePortfolios could be part of the solution. I first started using them when I was working at the University of Westminster, then at the University of Warwick, and I've even done consultancy work and helped other universities and organisations to set up ePortfolios in their institutions. In this video, I'm going to show you some examples of ePortfolios. I'm going to talk a little bit about the content of the ePortfolio and why I think it could work for assessment. And I'm also going to show you a couple of tools that you can use for ePortfolios as well. Really hope you like the video. As always, I've set out a menu system so that you can jump to different parts of the video. Please like it, please share it, please comment on it, and of course join me on my YouTube channel. One last thing, many people ask me how I make my videos. I use Camtasia. If you want to try it out, there's a link to test it for free in the description. You can also buy it with a discount. I've provided a link there, and there's also a free 6-part course that will take you through everything in how Camtasia works, and I'll also put that in the description. Most ePortfolios have the following 4 components. Of course, each portfolio will be slightly different, but normally you have a home page, a landing page where you provide information about what the ePortfolio is about. You have a profile page where the student can put up information about themselves. You have evidence of their learning, and we can see here lots of different things, and we'll look at these in a minute. So this is all the different activities that this particular student's done during the course. Now, this was actually a teacher training course. I'll talk more about it in a minute. And then, of course, we've got the reflections that student has written. Now, the reflective questions are provided by me each week to get the students to write up their reflections and think about what they've been learning. So very much an ePortfolio focuses on the process of learning rather than kind of measuring a specific point. What you're really trying to do is prove or demonstrate evidence of your learning over a period of time. Now, this example is a teacher training course because these days I train teachers in using technology, particularly language teachers. But in the past, my ePortfolios were for language learners, but it would be the same thing. They would be putting up evidence of anything that they've worked on, whether it be collaboratively, perhaps a Google slide or a Padlet. But it may be something that they've created on their own, like, for example, a YouTube playlist, or like, for example, some Wordwall activities, etc. The whole idea, though, is that the evidence of learning, whether it was done collaboratively, in pairs, or individually, can be put into the ePortfolio, along with the reflections. Now, a massive advantage for me as a teacher on this course is that if I want to look at what a particular student has been doing, I can simply go to their ePortfolio, and there I've got access to everything that they've been working on the course. Now, just in case you're interested in the particular course that I am talking about here, it's called Technologies and Approaches to Blended, Hybrid and Online Teaching. It is based towards language teachers, but in all honesty, anybody using technology in their teaching and learning would benefit from the course, and the whole of the course is assessed using ePortfolios. So we'll put a link on the screen now, just in case you was interested in knowing a little bit more about it. Whenever I run training sessions in using ePortfolios, the biggest question is all about, well, how do you assess them? So there are 3 basic levels that we're looking for. First of all, did the student complete all the activities they had to do on their own, perhaps in pair work, perhaps some collaborative activities as well? Secondly, and really importantly, did they add anything extra into their ePortfolio that we didn't ask? Now, this is really important because one of the things about an ePortfolio is that it will become personalized and students will feel kind of ownership towards their portfolios. And it's something I discovered very early on. So allowing that flexibility for students to, for example, add in a gallery or add in additional pages or change the theme or use their own pictures or change the backgrounds, etc. That really allows for students to go over and above what they've been asked to do. It's great for their digital literacies, and in fact most students do that. It's one of the things that we've noticed with ePortfolios is that they do lead to kind of a whole feeling of ownership. The third area, of course, is the quality of the reflections. Now, reflections can be as boring as a simple description of what they did, or as interesting as today we learned blah, blah, blah. I think it could be useful for blah, blah, blah. It will have this impact on my students and on my own teaching and learning. So let's say if it was a teacher doing a course with me and they talk about a particular technology and how useful they would find it, how they think they might use it in their lessons, and what impact it might have on their students, or in fact on themselves, or even on their institution. So we're looking for that higher level of thinking where they're not just describing what they've done, but really applying their new knowledge to the particular context that they find themselves in now or possibly in the future. The tool we use for our ePortfolios is Google Sites, and there is a particular reason why I really like working with Google Sites. In the past, I've worked with things like Mahara and other tools as well, but Google Sites is great because if students work on a collaborative activity, say a Google Doc or a Google Slide, each student that works on that particular document will have a copy in their Google Drive and therefore will be able to place it into their ePortfolio. So there's no problem on collaborative activities with who's going to actually share the document. No, everyone has got a copy. The way that Google Sites is set up too makes it so easy to create pages, to create sub-menus, to add in pictures, to add in text, to add in content that's on your Google Drive, to embed content. It really is just such a simple tool. It also makes it very easy to share the ePortfolio with the teacher because you simply add the teacher as an editor, and that way the teacher can access the ePortfolio and see the work that the student's been doing. Therefore, the student doesn't have to publish the ePortfolio for other people to see. That's something you can decide as a teacher. But that additional level of security is also a really good idea. Now, I have actually made some quite popular videos about Google Sites and how to work with Google Sites. And if you're interested in learning more about Google Sites, there's a link on the screen now that you can click on. It will take you to a video that takes you through everything you need to know if you're going to set up an ePortfolio using Google Sites. It's quite interesting to think about why ePortfolios might be part of the solution when it comes to kind of assessment and how we might think about assessment. First of all, the content, because the content itself that the students produce during a course, whether it's things they do online, maybe for homework and things that they do in the class, can all go into their ePortfolio. Now, there are opportunities to make use of AI and ChatGPT in these contexts, but it is a lot more difficult, particularly if specific activities involve students collaborating together and sharing synchronously, for example. So that's part of the reason why it's very much focused on the process, and the content is obviously all the different things that you're doing during the course. The other thing is that obviously in the reflections, it's personalized questions. You're asking students to reflect and think about their own context on what they've learned and how they could apply it. Again, they could use, for example, ChatGPT to get very generic answers, but it would be more difficult to get specific personalized answers that fit with their context. Really, in reality, would be easier for the students to write the answer themselves, to try to get ChatGPT to do that for them. I recognize it could still be done, but the more personalized we make the questions, the less that is likely to happen. And I think the other point is that when you do the reflective questions, a key thing to do is to really focus on the process. So what are you going to do to introduce this particular technology into your class? What will that mean for your students and for you? I think because we're making the questions so personalized and we're focusing on the process, that we can to some degree mitigate the possibilities of using other technologies. However, I do recognize, of course, that they could still play a role. Now, I'm not particularly negative about the use of ChatGPT and AI tools anyway. I've begun to actually introduce them into my teaching and learning. And the way to do that is to, when you set up tasks and activities for the students to do, maybe get them to think about, discuss and share their ideas on how they might use ChatGPT as well as other AI tools to help them. We've done a few early experiments, really bringing ChatGPT into the lessons and into the things that we're doing. And so far, we've been quite impressed with the reaction of the students and the way that they're thinking. And it's building their knowledge of the tools and the possibilities. Now, if you want to learn more about ChatGPT, there is a link on the screen now to a really useful video that's been quite popular that shows you some more advanced features in ChatGPT, particularly using it in language teaching. And I've also got another very popular video on AI tools that we can use in language teaching as well, and I'll put that on the screen as you may want to access that and learn more about how useful AI tools are and how they could be incorporated into your teaching and learning, but also useful to your students. Okay, I really hope you liked that video, and if you did, please come over to teachertrainingvideos.com. Loads more free content. There's a big menu system here at the top of the screen, and if you scroll down on the front page, you'll also see loads and loads of videos. You can find out about the courses that I run, and you can sign up to my newsletter. Now, if you sign up to the newsletter, you get a free 14-part video course in how to use technology in your teaching and learning. I send you a video about every 3 or 4 days, and there are no tricks. It really is just a completely free course. And if you sign up to the newsletter, of course, you'll also get updated with all the latest videos, the blogs, the online courses, and the free webinars that we also run. One final thing, if you do want to contact me, then you can contact me from the website and just click there. Finally, I'm going to leave some more videos on the screen about AI tools and ChatGPT connected to teaching and learning. Thank you very much.